Going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today, I'm fitting some sheet metal on this thing. Now, I already got the cowl section fitted, and I really didn't want to bore you guys with the process of that because, well, I've had this cowl alone on and off maybe 20 times. No exaggeration. You put it on, find out what needs to be done, make some small adjustments, put it on, and repeat the process. But I got it fitting pretty good. I checked all my measurements. I got them all written down in a notebook right there. Table's a mess, but my fender bolts are all where the stock one was. Same with the wiper motor. Now there are some things that I need to do before I can burn it in. I got a couple tears in the metal from when I was cutting the spot welds. I want to weld those shut. This one right here, I got to fill that in. I want to open this hole up a little bit more. It must not be in the exact same location as the original. If you didn't see the other video, I actually made a patch panel here off of that front cowl section I used because I had some rot holes here and here. But I got this fitting pretty well. Took a lot, as you can see. I had to do a lot of hammer and dolly in here to get the metal stretched out. Still there's still a little gap, but we'll get that. But now what I want to do before I even burn this in is I got to finish test fitting everything. So I had drilled my dash out. Probably shouldn't have jumped the gun on that one because now I got it clamped back in so I can mock up the upper dash panel because I want to make sure that everything is going to fit correctly because, well, it's like a domino effect. If this is off a little bit, it's going to affect this, it's going to affect that. Now, this is getting replaced. The replacement one is back there. I haven't started working on it yet. I was going to weld that in before I did this, but I changed my mind because I think it's going to be easier for me to work on those toe boards with this out of the way. So I'll burn that in afterwards, but I do need to mock everything up. Now here is my upper dash that I got on Marketplace with the dash face for 100, I think it was like 140 bucks. Now, I was mounted on a car at one time, but it was pop riveted. It was never welded. So I need to go ahead. I need to clean off all this adhesive they used. You can see remnants of the pop rivets right there. I'm going to clean this up and we're going to start mocking this in. Now, again, I'm probably not going to record any of that simply because there's no sense in me boring you guys with putting it on and taking it off, putting it on, taking it off. I'll bring you guys back when we got the final adjustment in and probably going to be ready to burn that in right there. So I kind of just threw everything together crudely just to see how things were going to fit. I got the dash locked in with some pliers, same with the upper dash, and it looks good. Now the ends do need to get drawn down a bit, but a couple self-tappers will do that. I don't really feel like doing that at this current time because, well, I'm not going to be welding this in anytime soon yet. I just wanted to make sure that things were looking decent. As you can see, it's not too far off. That was the original cut line, right? The original paint line from the original dash, and it will come into place. There is flex in that, but I think I'm at a point where I can take all this off. Got so much junk in the way. I keep getting caught on stuff. I can take this off and start getting this ready to burn in. Now, there's a couple things I want to do first. If you can see there, I kind of circled some holes that these holes are not on my original cowl. I don't know what they're for, so I'm contemplating on welding them in. Now, I'm definitely going to weld these in because you can see these. These, though, they will be under the actual cowl panel, so you will not see it. So I might leave those. Also, you can see that there. I do not have that either. So that I'm probably going to fill in because that goes into the actual passenger compartment. Now you can look here. This is the same location as those holes, and there is divots there. So that tells me that that was probably for some sort of option. Now, obviously, I'm not equipped with that option, but I have no idea what it's for. If anybody knows, just let me know in the comments. But another thing I want to do is you see these little wire hangers. The new one does not have these, at least these two. It has a chintzy one here, but I might drill it out while I'm at doing those two and just put the original one in. It's just a single spot weld, no big deal. Now these, I do got to drill these out because the original hardware is a 5/16 bolt, whereas the new one is a 3/8, I believe. So I do got to open these up, the rods themselves, and I got to find some new hardware. I might have some laying around, but they're really short bolts, so I might have to buy some because I don't think I have anything that short. I'm going to start tearing this all apart. I'm going to flip it over. Like I said, I'm going to weld these holes in. Again, these two, I don't even know what they're for either. I do know that this one and this one is for the wire harness wire. And that, I don't know what those are for either. These are for the trim tag, but they look like they're up a little high. So another thing I do have to do as well is I might have to drill these out and line them up on there just to make sure that this top edge of this tag doesn't end up over this, because if it does, I'm gonna have to fill and lower those holes. Also, I got to transfer this little wire hanger as well. So let's get this all torn apart. We'll start doing the little modifications we need to that. That way we can get it burned in. All right, well, like I told you, the original has three little like straps for the wiring harness, where the aftermarket has this one little chintzy one. Now I'm definitely going to transfer the two over, one right by the speaker mount, and another one here. Right, pop this angle. While I'm at it, I might just drill that guy out and put in this one just for symmetry. So this will get the job done, but in there. Other than that, everything seems to be identical. I don't see no differences. This bracket looks exactly the same. It does appear to be more forward versus the original. See that? Yeah, the original is like in line with this bracket, where this one is behind. So I don't know. Maybe I'll move that back. Maybe I'll leave it. We'll see how that goes. But overall, I am satisfied with this one. Just noticed something here. I'll show you guys. Not really a big deal, but the angles on this bracket are kind of wonky. See there, it's got like a dot. It's really wavy, where the original is nice and even. Another thing I'll show you here, and then you look at the aftermarket. They cut it, a relief cut, and welded it in. Again, no big deal. This is an OER part, but it's made by CHL. There's the packaging for it, as you can see, OER. Not the cleanest cuts, but we'll weld it on. That's pretty much all I want to take off of this transfer over. Well, actually, I am going to take this, but I'll leave this one for later, along with the trim tag, because as I stated earlier, I'm not sure if those trim tag holes are in the right location. Looking at this body line, those holes are somewhere in this area here, roughly looking at it. So it'd be easier for me to relocate them while it's on the car, weld it to the car. Won't be moving around on me. This, you can see that little booger weld from the factory. Wasn't even spot welded on. It looks like they hit it with a MIG or something. So there's a few more things that I got to do on the firewall before I can get the cowl panel in. Now I already made a cut there. This is where the metal tore, and it was overlapping, so I didn't like it. So I made a relief cut there, and I'm not going to bother welding that. I'm going to weld it when I got the panel on, so I'll hit this spot weld and then fill that in. Same thing down here. There was a tear there, so I made a nice little relief cut there, and I'm going to go about it the same way. Now on this side, on the original cowl, it had a spot weld extremely low on there, and the new cowl doesn't even make it down there. So a big hole. So I'm going to fill that in. And these plug weld pliers are awesome. It has a copper pad in the back, so you can weld on it, and it won't stick to it. And they're great at filling in holes. That's honestly the main reason I bought these, was for that purpose. But they're also nice because, say I was welding another piece of sheet metal here, and I was worried about burning through. I can clamp these on, and that's just going to act like a heat sink. And if it gets too hot to where it does go through, obviously the pad isn't going to let it blow out. But I got to fill in that really quick. Then I'm going to jump into doing the welding and the work I need on the cowl, so we can get that sucker burnt in here and keep moving forward. As you can see, that filled in rather nicely on the back side. Looks a little rough, but that's the waffle shape of the copper pad on the pliers. And it looks like it melted a little bit of the copper to it, which is no big deal. We're going to grind that off real quick. And we're going to now finish addressing the back side here. I got to drill a hole right here real quick, and then I'm going to hit this entire strip on the back side of this firewall with welcome part. So I'm pretty much ready to start welding on the back side of this cowl. I got this all prepped up, cleaned it up real good. I hit it with a coat of asphalt. I'm gonna let that sit for a little while. Now, while I wait on that, I'm gonna come work on this. As you can see, I kind of spritz a little weld through primer here. And the reason for the tape is just so when I go to locate the tabs, I don't accidentally put them in a spot where there's EDP coating. Now, I got my little piece that I cut out taped in place to fill in that hole. For the other one, we're just going to hit it with a weld. I have my copper backer here. Same purpose as those pliers, but obviously I can't put it in there. Hold that in the backside. It'll act as a heat sink, and also keep it somewhat flat on the backside where it'll take very little grinding from this end to make it look good. So those are the only points that I got to weld underneath. And then I'll flip it over, and I got to fill in a couple of holes that aren't going to be used on the front half. Once that's done, we're going to address the welds here. And then I got to make some holes here for my spot welds. Same here. I got to clean this entire front edge. But either way, I got one more coat to put here. I usually do 2 coats of this self-etch weld through primer. Hit the back sides of the tabs and weld those in. Like I said, I'm just going to end up leaving the driver's side just because I don't know if I'm going to move it or not later on. That bracket is definitely not in the same location as the original. It should work out. There's a lot of play in the electrical. And it does have this tab. I just might leave it, save myself time. There it is. Nice and filled up. I'll probably grab DA, go over it, try and knock down those scratches a little bit. As for these, I might just leave them. That one was kind of burning up on me. So I was chasing it, so it didn't come out as nice, but maybe I'll get the die grinder, give it a little dressing up, but we're not going to get crazy there. As you can see, I got this all prepped up and ready to go. Both sides of the car. There's the inner firewall. Cleaned down as far as I thought necessary. Clean down to maybe this area here. I'm going to finish cleaning the rest when I do the toe boards. So now it's time. Let's get this sucker back in there. Hit it with some self-tapping screws. And we'll start burning it in. All right, well, guys, pretty much get the gist of this. I got like 500,000 more spot welds to do, so I'll get you guys back when we're all done. 200 spot welds later, it's done. Starting to look good. Looks more like a car again. Some of my welds came out really good. That one's nice and flat. I don't even have to dress that. Others, they need a little attention. That one could use some grinding. That one can be left alone. But now we got to start the process of dressing this entire firewall. This is going to get a coat of seam sealer anyways all the way across. So you won't even see those welds. Same in here. Got to do a nice little coat of seam sealer. Honestly, I don't have to do anything to those because you'll never see that. But I'm still going to dress those a little bit. And finally, I can get this X-brace cut out and move along onto the A-pillar. Keep making progress on the crusty bird here. So I went real quick across. I decided to flatten this out, since you're going to see this. Now, it's not 100% done. I hit those off a little bit. I'm going to clean it up a little bit better. I'm going to finish it up with a little angle die grinder. Smaller, a little bit better control, speed control, etc. All right, guys, that pretty much wraps it up here. It's basically installed. I got a little bit more grinding to do on the spot welds here and there, but overall, I'm definitely happy with the results. looks good. It fit great. I mean, obviously aftermarket parts. I had to do a little tinkering here and there, but that's no big deal. Um, Glad now that I can finally move forward, remove that X brace, and I'm gonna knock out that 8 pillar over there. That way, in the next video, we're gonna be working on getting a new roof brace installed and rebuilding that upper the upper windshield channel. I went and bought a shrinker stretcher from Harbor Freight for that one. But yeah, as always, guys, thank you for watching, and I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you guys on the next one.